sneeze on this.
Huh? All right. Hey, thanks for joining us right here on Double Talk. I'm Mark Steffen.
And I'm Michael Mandel. And we have our peanut gallery here, but there's not going to be any free coconut water today.
No, but there's plenty of nuts.
Yeah, plenty of coconuts. But I was drinking that coconut water in the meantime.
Did you finish it off?
Stuff. No, because it's not bad. It's it's pretty expensive, so you don't want to like guzzle it. And
it's good for you.
It is. 1 or 2 gulps is good. And I think what we came to the conclusion was still correct. The Taste Nirvana was very good, and Blue Monkey also had a very good.
Did you make cocktails with it?
No, I didn't. It's a waste of expensive coconut water.
No, don't say that.
As opposed to gin or vodka.
Well,
what do I know?
This weekend,
yes,
we're in the midst of the White Sands International Film Festival right now. And it's going on. There's still a few films left to show. It goes through tomorrow, Sunday.
Who really has the patience to watch movies about sand?
Well, like sands through the hourglass. These are the days.
So what's going to be? Oh, Jeffrey Tambor is going to be there.
We're going to be here sometime. I think today. I don't know. See, I'd know more information because I had invited the White Sands Film Festival to come on this show.
Did you?
Or to even do a show of their own.
But did they?
And no, they ignored me. In fact, we wanted to show up with the camera to the film festival and go shoot some interviews with some of the directors and the people running the festival. They ignored me on that too. So the White Sands Film Festival hates the Las Cruces Channel.
I guess.
Channel 98.
They will rue the day they shunned your invitation.
And, no. And so I guess it's not that legitimate. Unfortunately,
I believe it is.
None of the directors whose films are showing at the festival will be allowed to show their films on Channel 98. That's the management's. I don't know.
So they're not going to be able to make the big bucks that they get from showing their movies on Channel 98. Right. How about anything with Jeffrey Tambor in it? You know, he always plays the ill-fated guy in the show that nothing ever goes in.
Remember him on the Larry Sanders Show?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great on there. He was like the Ed McMahon part.
Yes.
Jeffrey's a great actor. I love Jeffrey Tambor. He's a good actor. Anyway.
So you're going to see the movies? Or
I'm going to be out of town Friday and Saturday. I won't get to see hardly anything.
You mean you're out of town?
I was out
of town yesterday, and you won't be able to see him today because you're still out of town while we're shooting.
Look, everybody knows we shoot this thing in advance.
A certain day, yes.
So, I'm out of town now. And so anyway, but forget this. Forget the film festival. Go to we also have the Salsa Fest
because we are the center of green chili, and it's green chili season. And I haven't smelt it around the supermarkets like you usually do.
Well,
I wonder why. Wonder if it's humidity.
Go shopping.
Humidity. That means I'd have to buy a green chili.
Well, now I went to the Salsa Festival last year, or as I called it, the Puke Fest.
Oh.
Because I got the worst food poisoning there that I think I've ever had.
Well, they're not going to advertise with us.
Well, they don't advertise anyway.
Well, they're advertising now with us telling them.
Well, and like I told the health department,
yes,
when I finally recovered, talking about my poisoning there, I sampled chili from every vendor but 2. So we could eliminate those 2 as the ones that caused the poisoning. And if I got sick, others got sick too.
It's nice of you to exclude those 2, but you're not quite sure if they too might have had tainted chili. Just because you didn't get sick, yes. And maybe it was because you had eaten how many? 18 different chilies? Oh, that's not going to make anybody sick.
And more than one could have been tainted.
That's true, but it could also be the fact that you were eating so much chili might have got you.
I'm used to
stomach can only take.
I'm used to eating plenty of chili, and you only get little samples. It's not like you're eating that much. If you had an enchilada dinner, you'd be eating more chili than that, I think. No, personally, I can't eat too much chili.
See?
It's one of my
favorite. Get sick.
No, it's one of my favorite dishes, one of my favorite foods. And I didn't get sick the year before. So somebody there this year, at least last year, had tainted chili.
Maybe.
So just warning, anybody who goes to the Salsa Fest,
smell your chili before you eat it.
You'll never, I'm sure there will be no telltale evidence, but people got sick last year. They'll get sick this year. A word of warning.
So don't forget to wash your hands. Or as I read in one bathroom, it is a civil courtesy as well as a state law to wash your hands before leaving the bathroom. So it's a civic courtesy.
Well, it's the people who work there should wash their hands.
Well, who knows who made the chili? But chili usually has enough fire to get rid of any disease anyway.
Really?
Maybe
No,
you
that
should have
doesn't
had
do it.
some tequila while you're while you're eating chili, because tequila, being alcohol, is antiseptic.
Yeah, except they don't serve tequila. They don't even serve beer there. So
You didn't have a little hip flask?
no, I didn't.
Well,
Michael, what do you take me for?
Somebody who's practical. Yes.
No, I didn't have that. What you need there is water because it was so hot outside. Plus, the chili was
This
rather
week
warm.
isn't going to be that hot. It's not that hot.
Well, it's nice
not
and
as hot,
temperate.
yeah.
Yes. But also this weekend, forget the Salsa Fest.
Oh,
Forget
I
the
forgot
film
it.
festival.
It's out of my mind. It's
The
gone.
Deming duck races are going on this weekend.
So, but they're not serving any duck with chili, are they?
I don't know. Can you get Peking duck there in Deming?
You'd have to look.
And so that's going on.
The duck races are a blast. They get to be blastier and blastier and more fun. There's something just crazy about ducks.
Do you think the ducks have a website? And there's no more going on in Deming than just the duck races. There's all kinds of festivities and attractions and booths and so forth. Plus, they have a hot air balloon rally going on Saturday and Sunday. So
As we do here.
that's going on there for the duck races in Deming.
Really?
That's today, Saturday and Sunday.
So the good thing about the duck races is you get all these little kids, pretty little, holding ducks. And they're flapping their wings in their faces. And then they let them go, and the kids go crazy, and the ducks are pretty crazy. So that's
what kind of an animal wins the race? What?
Duck!
You're way ahead of me.
No, missed the web one.
Okay.
That was exciting because we need a little bit of action. We should do a chase scene every show, because people always like to watch chase scenes in movies. So, gotcha.
Okay.
That's
Thank you.
chasing. Made it exciting.
Now, speaking of hot air, there's been a lot of hot air coming out of the Doniana Community College lately because
I want to hear you.
the nursing school lost their accreditation.
Who's that?
That's a sad
She
one.
looks familiar.
That's a nurse.
I think I once saw her when I was stuck in an insane asylum with a crazy Native American.
Well, that's a nurse who will not be graduating this year because
No.
they lost their. Well, you can still graduate,
You can graduate.
but you won't get a job. Because,
Yes, you would.
Because the school has no accreditation, and places don't want to hire nurses who graduate from schools with no accreditation.
Well, now you want more detail?
Okay.
Well, what are you looking for me?
Detail?
Do I look like a dictionary?
Sorry.
The detail is both large hospitals do not hire nurses that don't have an accredited degree.
Yes.
But many places in Las Cruces hire people just because the school is still licensed by New Mexico.
Yes, but who wants to get a crappy job for $9 an hour?
Oh, they make plenty of money, so I wouldn't worry about that. But it is good to come from an accredited school. And the reasons, as I understand it, that we didn't get accreditation, which isn't that great anyway.
What?
And people knew this problem years ago.
And did nothing about it.
There was a disproportionate amount of untenured faculty or adjunct faculty to full-time faculty. There weren't enough full-time faculty. Also, apparently, we meaning the Doniana Community College, did not use national advertising to fill positions that they had.
Yeah, well,
so those two things kept us out of accreditation.
You don't see the nursing school in UNM having this problem, do you?
No, they kept track of their hiring practices.
Or in
good.
UTEP, It doesn't happen anywhere else but here.
Not only that, apparently it is going to be possible for nursing students from the Doniana Community College to, this might happen, get listed with the Carlsbad Community College, which is accredited, and it is part of our system. So they're working out a way where...
To transfer their credits over there and then graduate?
But still go to school here with teachers here. The thing about our teachers is the graduation rate, which is one of the requirements of accreditation, is actually higher here than the accreditation rate requires.
I see.
So we do have a good school. The thing is,
so who's to blame for all this?
Well, I guess the
Margie
person,
Huerta?
I guess Margie Huerta or whoever is supposed to be watching proportions and hiring practices.
Well, who's the head of the nursing school?
I don't know.
Maybe
but Marjorie Huerta is supposed to look over that stuff.
Well, she's the head of the,
she's responsible.
Of the community college.
Yes. Well, she's been out talking to people and trying her best to make things up. But I think they knew about this problem 3 years ago.
She's also been out trying to get a job elsewhere.
I can see why.
Which she didn't get.
You can see why she'd want a job elsewhere when the whip comes down, which it did.
When her school doesn't get accredited.
And that's a big school. Accredited is a horrible word to say. There's an extra "ited." Yeah. It's a good lisp.
That's true.
But that's a good picture of Louise Fletcher.
That's Nurse Ratched.
Yes, from One Flew Over the Coconut Shop. Coconut water? Cuckoo's Nest?
There you go.
There we go. Coconut Nest. We do have another institution in Las Cruces other than the Doña Ana Community College, known as the company that ruins small business in Las Cruces.
That ruins
Walmart.
Small business? Yes. Well, yes, gets rid of mom and pop shops, certainly.
Yes.
Because they can't compete with the giant Walmart superstores.
Nobody can compete. Do you ever wonder why Kmart even bothers?
You go in there. Hey, no lines.
Well, there are lines. That's the odd thing.
Because they have one person checking people out.
And they have some archaic method of checking people out. You can walk around this. It's almost like being in a town where nuclear war is, and there's nobody buying anything, and then you get to the cashier and there's lots of people. That's Kmart. Walmart, on the other hand, the store is packed. The lines, you need an entire store to hold the lines. I mean, I like things about Walmart.
Really? Not me. I went to Walmart last week for the first time in about 3 months, and I wanted to buy some cologne, some Dracar Noir, my favorite cologne. I don't have it on, and I'll tell you why.
I can tell because you prefer the garlic smell that you're wearing.
It's locked up, right?
Yeah.
So you have to get the lady to come over and open it up, take it out for you, and then she'll say, "Oh, would you like to buy it here at the counter?" I said, "No, I've got to do some other shopping." She says, "Oh, when you're done shopping, come over and I'll walk it over with you." They don't give it to you to put in your cart.
No, that's because that's one of the most valuable things they sell. What is it, like $60?
No, I was getting $10 worth, 1.5 ounces. And I was going to buy other things that were smaller and more expensive than that.
Like contact lenses?
But they weren't going to allow me to put it in my basket, so that she was going to walk it over to the register when I'm done. So I went over to produce. I got the things I wanted.
And then you forgot about it.
I decided I'm not going to walk all the way over there.
I know, because...
And then walk all the way back to the express line to check out.
Oh, what a hassle.
Let them keep it.
And also, you can go to the gym afterwards if you want to walk.
Yeah, so no, it's a time thing.
Well, why don't you just go to Marshall's where you can get Dracar Noir probably on sale?
No, they don't have that there.
Well, they have stuff that's
similar. You have to go to Dillard's
similar
to get it. And Dillard's is more pricey.
None of that. I don't think they allow you in there anymore, do they? After the incident,
The incident. Oh, after I bought too much stuff?
Yeah, you spent your life savings on a shirt. Is that what happened?
I only go there when they have stuff on sale.
Oh, the whole reason we were talking about Walmart is because the man,
the general manager, the very original,
Curtis Roseman, 29 years, he's been the manager of the store. The guy's an amazing guy. I gotta admire that.
He stuck with it.
He did his Walmart thing. He also did stuff with the Miss New Mexico contest, Miss USA.
Yeah, Miss USA.
And he did that. He started.
We got a picture of Rose Curtis there somewhere.
We do. Curtis, come on.
Anyway, he's retiring, and he's going to be operating his
health food business.
Fitness center.
Health drink. You know how many health drink businesses are in town? I think it's uncountable at this point. Well, every corner place.
If you count all the Nutrisystem stuff and
all that stuff where you're pouring stuff into
smoothies and whatnot. Yeah. Anyway, there's Curtis. We're going to have to take a break here.
Because that made me very thirsty.
Let's go get something cold to drink, and we will be right back after these words.
We're a-coming, Curtis.
Welcome to La Buena Vida Women's Club, located away from the crowds but close to home. Come in throughout the day for Jazzercise, the world's dance fitness leader for nearly 40 years. Treat yourself to a relaxing massage, or unwind in the lounge area or outside on the balcony with friends. La Buena Vida Women's Club, located and designed with women in mind. For information, call Diane at 650-9721.
You found us on Channel 98. Keep watching because we have so much in store for you. We want to grow together. Your channel, local and real.
Fiesta Motors.
Come and see us today and discover why our service is second to none. In business for over 17 years, we have the right car for you. When you buy a vehicle from Fiesta Motors, we do everything possible to ensure your satisfaction. Located at the corner of El Paseo and Main. See you there.
Celebrate Fiesta Motors, where buying a car is always a celebration.
Oh, the kinds of puns that are just so old.
Puns, schmuns. We're back. This is
Yes.
Double Talk. Mike and Mark here. No, he's Mike. I'm Mark.
I'm Mike Steffen, Mark Mandel.
Mark Mandel. And
Mark my words.
you know,
What do we know?
What do I know? A lot of people say that our rights are slowly slipping away from us, and I believe that they're right. When our rights are disappearing from us, it's not going to come in big chunks. It'll come with
little
surgical
footsteps,
lasers,
tiny pussycat
that will
footsteps.
take one
in the
little
night.
thing at a time.
Little pussycat footsteps,
And
a little bit sneaking up.
And before we know it, our rights will be lost.
You know,
There are many of them.
I don't think you really have a right to say that on TV. I think you just, the FCC is going to ban you from saying that. The government will slowly take our rights.
Well,
unless we're being bugged here and somebody knows we're saying this.
Well,
thank goodness nobody ever really sees it.
Luckily, nobody watches this show.
Yeah, so we're lucky. What kind of rights?
But there are places where, well, it's only a matter of time until we can't say these things. But there are places where you now cannot say these things. And over in Russia...
Remember Russia? Part of the USSR, for those of you who are back in the pre-80s.
Right, Putin.
You too.
Putin got elected again, or as George Bush called him, Pooty Poot. I call him Rootin' Tootin' Putin.
Really?
And,
they don't really eat that many beans there.
And so anyway, there was a lot of people were protesting Putin being reinstated.
Right, because he
was the country.
He was the prime minister prior. And then he let his second in command become the leader.
Yeah, it's all
and then
fixed.
he took it back. But it is Russia.
Yeah.
We would never do that.
Things there are even more fixed than they are in this country. And people were naturally protesting.
I know, at least in this country, you know, you have George Bush, and then you let somebody else be president for a while, and then you get George Bush again.
That's true. And soon it'll be Jeb Bush. And anyway, there's a group called, a musical group called Pussy Riot.
A punk group.
Yeah, now I don't know what Pussy Riot is all about, but count me in.
Well, I don't think it's an orgy.
Oh, well.
No, it's just a pussy riot. And that's the three women. And they were protesting in song in front of a building, and they were arrested because they were anti-Putin. And the local clergy, or the whole Russian clergy, said give them some leniency, but the judges gave them the highest sentence possible, which was 3 years in jail for protesting by song. They didn't do anything violent. They didn't hurt anybody. Nobody ended up with scars on their knees.
Yeah,
or
they're basically arrested for being ironic.
Sang a song. You can imagine, like the Sex Pistols getting arrested in the 70s here.
Well, I'm sure they did, but not for singing.
Yeah. You can imagine Jim Morrison getting arrested for obscenity.
For exposing himself. Can you
or
imagine?
exposing himself. Yes.
No, but
you really can't see when you're in a concert, you know, anything.
But anyway, Pussy Riot got arrested. They'll be in prison, well, for a while anyway. They may get out early. But when they get out, they'll be famous. They can tour the world, and that'll be the worst thing Russia ever had.
Well, I think that's actually a wonderful thing for publicity. The name is very good for publicity too, but I think when the head of Russia, you know, stops your Pussy Riot, then they get a big name. So how are things being taken? You know, things could be taken away from us here by editorial things. You know, like if you just watch Fox News and you hear a certain way of giving information,
and you believe it's true,
then you are losing a little bit of honesty. You're losing any sort of perspective. If you listen to only one source of news, sort of your cousin or your brother-in-law, and he says this and you say that, and you get into an argument because you heard it. Or if people use phrases like, well, I heard that this guy is doing something, you need actual verification. This is why you need more than one source of news show. And I'm sure everybody out there goes and sees our other show, which we do on another station, to verify what we're saying here.
Your point being?
That don't just accept what is being told to you, have some critical thinking abilities, be able to pick and choose when you hear certain things, whether it seems possible and whether there is another side. There is usually always other sides, and you should listen to both of them.
So they're listening to you now.
What about you? You never pipe up.
No, you're doing all the
That's
talking.
because we're agreeing.
Who can get a word in edgewise?
I gave you the edge, and you didn't come in.
All right.
So I
don't know what he's talking about. I really don't know what he's
going.
talking about, folks. Yeah, like I
Because
ever do.
you don't know anything political. That's your thing. You're just so out of the political.
You know, I should get involved.
Have you ever done anything political in your life?
I should get involved
No,
with the political
never.
campaign one of these days.
You would never do that.
And
you don't even know the difference between the two parties. You didn't even know there were two parties.
Sure there are.
Did you? Your
Sure.
party and my party.
Well, there's the birthday party and the Halloween party.
What about, you forget the anniversary party?
Oh, well, I'm not married. I wouldn't have one.
You have an anniversary of something, like the time you got your tooth pulled when you were a kid. Don't you celebrate that?
Oh, no, the Tooth Fairy showed up and that took care of that.
What other parties are there? Cocktail party?
Cocktail parties.
Cocktail parties.
Cocktail parties at Michael's house tomorrow night.
Sounds good to me.
No, wait a minute. I won't be here.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
More for me.
With coconut
More
water?
for me. I don't know how
He
great
makes coconut martinis.
I don't know. That could be good.
They are good.
Oh, you tried it?
I've had them.
That sounds pretty
in
good.
India. Yes.
Oh, with Bombay gin or something?
With whatever gin they had. I don't know what it was.
Well, India.
But they had
Bombay
fresh
gin.
coconuts there, and I was happy to indulge. Now,
new tasting test. Yes, what? What? Yeah.
Yeah. On a happy yet sad point,
Yes.
you know, everybody knows by this time that dear departed Phyllis Diller has left the planet.
The happy note being that she was here.
She was
because
here, yes. It made a great many people laugh.
She was
a wonderful soul.
great comedian.
I love Phyllis
Comedian,
Diller.
2 N's and an E.
I worked with Phyllis Diller.
You did?
Yeah, I worked with Phyllis Diller in the 80s.
What political party were you working with then?
And
was that a political
there was
thing?
no politics involved. Phyllis was wonderful. I went to Phyllis's house.
Did she have that crazy cackling laugh in reality? Or was that...
No, that was her act. And when I worked with her, it was on the TV series Tales from the Dark Side.
She was in that?
Yeah, she did an episode of that. And
doubly
in fact,
scary.
I had a photograph taken with her on the set, and I sent that photograph, Polaroid, to my dad. And when he passed away, I was looking through his things, and I never came across it. So I don't know whatever happened to that photograph. I wish I had it.
Hence, we're using this one.
Yes.
You can make believe that Phyllis is here and Mark is right here, out here, and she's holding his coat.
This is
lapel.
a younger photograph of her this is probably from the 60s.
Yeah, she was a riot,
So
and
she was
we're not
great.
going to tell you any of her jokes because they're all denigrating to herself, and we don't want to do that.
No, that's okay. Phyllis was great, and rest in peace, Phyllis. We all love you,
So-
and we always will.
Yes.
Also, on another weird note of a Hollywood nature,
Yes, this was weird.
big-time Hollywood film director Tony Scott bought the ticket today,
this week.
in a strange turn of events, where he went to the Vincent Thomas Bridge in Long Beach and jumped.
He was, I think, he was 68 or 69.
Yeah, about 68.
And he's done Top Gun, right? He
Top
did some,
Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Days of Thunder. My favorite Tony Scott film is True Romance.
Oh, that was good.
That's a great movie.
So maybe he thought he couldn't do anything anymore, or he was getting too...
Well, there's a rumor that he had brain cancer. We won't know for sure until all of the
until the
autopsy results
until the Los
are
Angeles
finished.
Bay is dragged for his body.
Well, they found his body that night, and he did leave
night.
several notes. His brother Ridley Scott is a big-time producer and director. The two of them produced The Good Wife on
That's
television,
right.
and another TV show which I've forgotten.
Was
Numbers,
it called,
I think.
wasn't there? Oh yeah, they did do Numbers.
Yeah.
But was their production company Great Scott? Was that it?
Yeah, Great Scott Production, I believe. I worked with his brother Ridley on a movie called Blade Runner. You might have heard of it.
No, I don't watch things about razor blades.
Oh, okay. And
Good movie.
but anyway, it's sad about Tony Scott and.
Alas. Well, you want to see it, Tony, in your next movie. Maybe there's a movie in the
Maybe he's got one in the can.
coming
I
out
hadn't
waiting
heard.
for somebody to edit.
But
Chili verification for us.
here we are in southern New Mexico with the hot chili, and well, we are the chili capital of the world. And now a new law that has been passed that requires all chili vendors to have verification forms.
As they
on
say
hand.
in the art business, provenance, so that you know where it came from.
Exactly. So because there's been a problem of people claiming their chili came from New Mexico, and in fact it did not. Could have come from China or Texas or California.
But that's why you should always check your chilies and see if it says "Made in China" on them.
Each pod should say "Made in
New Mexico." By
right. So if you buy from a roadside stand, they should have a chili verification form. Now, I guess you could counterfeit these kinds of things.
I guess you could, since nobody knows what a chili verification form looks like.
But to go to all that's true. But to go all that trouble would
give us a call, and we will fill out a chili verification form for you. We can do that.
Hey, if you come across somebody selling chili claiming to be New Mexico chili, and they can't prove that it's from New Mexico, let us know, and we will investigate it. We have those powers.
We do, because you're politically connected now, and you could go into all sorts of people's business. And
who says I don't?
I said you could. I didn't say I'm going to let you. You could do that. So there's a chili. You know, we're not going to get into legitimate rape. I think this show.
No, we don't have time for that.
We're not going to talk about that, and nobody believes that, and we all know that's a bunch of.
Well, nobody knows even what you're talking about. So
they do. Oh, there.
No. Well, Todd Aiken, we're going to talk about you next week.
Yes, we'll actually know
if we even
more
care.
Stuff, because everybody knows what happened so far, and we want to end the show on a happy note.
Oh, there's Claude Akins.
Claude Akins.
Claude Akins is much better than Todd Aiken. Claude Akins is one of my favorite actors from the 70s and 80s. Remember, he was in Sheriff Lobo?
He always plays a tough guy. Well, because he looks like a tough guy.
Well, he's a tough guy, but a very nice guy, too, with a big, boisterous laugh, and I always loved Claude Akins. And with that, we're out of time, Michael.
Are we?
Yes,
yes,
we are.
It looks like we are. Well, we'll have to see everybody next week.
We will right back here at Channel 98 and Double Talk.